Originally, I planned to build our little details as a single shop without anything surrounding it. But as it turns out, I think we're gonna do a whole city setting, which we will expand today. I don't really have that much time this episode, so I think we will have to limit ourselves to building these next shops. And they're gonna go right here. I have some plans for an architecture, office, and also on the right side of that, a little interior designing shop. And I think the most time consuming part will be to collect all the parts. And yeah, as you probably know if you watched the last episodes, I usually build my buildings by making some layers and building them block for block upwards, because it's easier to plan out and then not to forget everything. But I think this time it's just gonna be too big, so I will try to do it a little bit different. And with that little explanation of what we're going to do this episode, I want to welcome you to a new episode of Krenia. It's a little odd to have a new name. I'm not sure if I'm going to get used to it, but I think I have to, so yeah, welcome back to Krenia. First thing on the list, as you can see, there's already a road planned out and started here, and for that road we will need a walkway that's gonna come right here. And as you can see, there will be a little bit of a problem with this part here, but don't worry, I've thought of that. This will actually have to go, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've planned it out, and we're going to have a walkway with some benches and trash cans and an alleyway and all things that you could find in a real city. And I think it's going to look really, really nice when we have all of our buildings here, then another one there, some on the other side of the road over here. It's just gonna look amazing. You know what the plan is, so I think let's start with doing the walkways. So what I have in mind for the walkway is to make it out of polished andesite slabs and smooth stone slabs. But yeah, as I said, we will need to take this down a little bit. Not all of it, but I think we'll just have to carve this part out. And I think this part too. So now we have a little bit more space here, and I think we can eventually also fill this up. We won't need this anymore. And also this step, we won't need that either. And now we can take care of this part, but we won't remove it completely. We will change it out. I fell down. We will change the part beneath out to barrels, because I think this looks quite a lot nicer, especially if we have the slabs in place as well. So let's just start to place these in, and I'm just gonna make it more or less random where they will go, just something like that. I will make it just maybe a little bit of a pattern that makes sense. We'll see how it looks. And now the smooth stone. I'm just gonna fill all of those up for now. We might need to have to change that up, but I think for now it looks quite promising. But yeah, now I have too much smooth stone in here and too little polished andesite, so let's take some of that out. Oh yeah, and we will need to change it up here, because that part doesn't actually need any of that. And yeah, this is starting to look quite nice. So let's make some details. For example, over here we could make a little bench. A bench where you can sit, and it will look just a little bit nicer than this plain old walkway. And it's actually a really simple but very effective design, where you basically use some blocks that you normally wouldn't use, and make it seem like they're just normal blocks. And then you can make something incredibly beautiful. And just like that, we have a bench. It's a little sunken down over here, but yeah, it looks fine. Right now it's a little lonely because this is missing still, and why don't we change that up right now? So let's put some pillows down here, and that looks much nicer. Now it has a real support down there and it looks quite nice. Yeah, we're gonna extend it all the way back over there, but not yet. We still have a lot more to do. For example, over here we will have an alleyway that goes behind the shops and the houses. But first we need to make that alley. And this is the basic shape we are going to use. And yeah, you can see that the alleyway goes up to here and it's gonna lower down here, and then we have Vinny's little shop. That still isn't really running, but it'll start soon. And yeah, we have all of these things, and I think we can put another one of those benches right here. Let's put it right here like this. Gotta use some scaffolding blocks to improvise. And there we have our second general bench. I'm gonna put some other blocks down there. There we go. And yeah, right now it looks very elevated and not connected, but as soon as we have a wall here, it's gonna look great. And yeah, that's the start of all of this. So let's just finish this part here as well, and then we can start actually building the whole store. And I can tell you, it's beautiful. And just like that, we have our whole alleyway completed. I know, right now it really doesn't look like an alleyway at all, but as soon as there is another wall right here, don't you worry, it will look just fine. For the details, we will have to add some things to this house as well. For example, a rain drain. Are they called that? I think so. A drain for the rain. You know what I mean. The thingies that come from the roof to drain the rain. I know, it's quite obvious. Okay, so yeah, that's the outline and the path where you can walk. And I think it's time to build the structure. So why don't we go ahead and let's get building. And there it is, our first building of the two. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to build the second one in this episode as well, but at least we have this one. I mean, it's better than nothing. And I promise you, in the next episode we will have the next house as well. So let me show you what we have in here. Of course we have the doors and the windows, obviously, then some window sills, and this little sun blind, and I think this looks kind of like a sign, like a billboard or something like that. So I included it, and I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, and now we finally have this alleyway, and I think it actually does look like an alley. For example, with the gutter right there, and the trash bags, some barrels, and back here a huge trash bin. And then we have this rescue ladder, which looks very nice in my opinion. Makes everything look quite alive and realistic. Also some graffiti on the walls. We will have to add another gutter right here, but that's gonna be added a little bit later. And yeah, this facade is very empty because the other house is going to come right there. So don't worry, that will look different. Now we have the inside, which isn't quite fully decorated. It's very empty still and doesn't have a lot, but I have planned to build our office right here. This will be our office, and of course I will make sure that the window is open so that we can always get in and out whenever we like with the escape ladder. So what we will have to do now is to simply put everything in there, and then I think we will be done for this episode, because yeah, as I've already said, I don't have that much time today, so we'll have to limit ourselves to that. But I think that's more than enough. And just like that, we have an interior, which in my opinion looks very cozy and nice. And how did that get there? That's supposed to be there. Okay, that's an accident. Anyway, that's how everything is looking right now. We have this stairway, quite nicely decorated and filled in. Then here, my office, where we will be meeting our clients for our architecture office. Yeah, and this is how it's looking, and I really like it. Yeah, we have the exit right here, where with the elytra we can just hop through and get on this thing, the escape ladder. And sometimes it bugs a little bit, but it's fine. And then another floor up, and there's another apartment, which looks a little bit more luxurious than the first one. And yeah, it looks very nice. And as soon as there's the other shop in, it'll look so much more like a city and not just a couple of houses standing besides each other. So yeah, last thing for this to be finished we need to do is to get that this gutter for this house in, and then we can finish this. I have the materials, and now we can simply put it in right away. I personally feel like nether bricks is the best looking thing for that, so let's put it in just like that, and there we have it. Beautiful. Looks, in my opinion, quite convincing. So let's put that painting back on there somehow. And yeah, now the alleyway is complete. Maybe we could still make a little trash bin like somewhere here. Nah, I think it's good like this. Yeah, other way it's going to look way too cluttered, and yeah, that's good. But we will make some trash bins somewhere else. And now that we're already here and that I've noticed it, we can put something over here, because there is supposed to be this right there. Yeah, that looks better. And yes, that's gonna do it for this episode. We I want to keep that. We're done for today. I know I didn't quite get as much done as I hoped I would, but I think one whole building is more than enough in 1 week, so yeah, even though it's not as much as hoped, it's more than enough. And with that, thank you very much for watching, and if you don't want to miss how the next house will look, tune in the next episode of Krenia.